Yeah, obviously a couple of good changes from the Ireland game. Nice to get Courtney Lawes back inside. He's certainly trained well this week, and he's certainly ready and looking forward to the game. And obviously the other change in the starting 15 with Mike Brown coming back in again, having trained well, got through that concussion, and Alex Good, understandably disappointed, but I think it's right to bring Mike back in for this game, and I know he's looking forward to playing.
Stuart, how much of a difference does it make to your side to have Courtney Lawes in it?
I think there's a collective level of experience we've brought in, not just with Courtney, but also with Jeff Parlin on the bench as well. Obviously leading into the Six Nations, we had quite a lot of injuries in the second row at one time, and I think Dave Atwood and George Crew's done a brilliant job. And obviously we had Nick on the bench, but I think having those three experienced second rows now in the side, Jeff obviously to come on, is great. But Courtney was fantastic for us in those November internationals. His presence around the field, but his also presence in the set piece now is big for us.
With Mike Brown's obviously back, he must be just desperate to get on, because it's been a really difficult few weeks for him, hasn't it?
Yeah, no, it was a bad injury and a bad knock to his head, and we needed to do right by him, and it was definitely the right decision not to involve him in the Ireland game. But certainly now, he's been chomping a bit of training really well last Friday, and we've had two good days, and he was exceptional in training today, so he'll be ready come Saturday.
You mentioned Parling and Wood on the bench. How much are you hoping that their presence lifts the performance? Particularly Tom's in the back row where England struggled in Ireland.
Yeah, I think bringing, you forget about some of the players that we've had injured, and bringing them back into the equation, as we've done this week. You look around the room now and you see the quality that we've got, and to be able to bring those two into the side and make the difficult selection of decisions we did. The likes of obviously Tom Croft got injured unfortunately at the weekend, but Nick Easter missing out, who's been excellent for us, and George Crew. And it's been good this week as well. We've had Manu's been in camp, Owen Farrell's been in camp. We've had Henry Slade in camp. Sam Burgess has obviously been training with us. So, you're looking around the change room now in the team meetings, and you're thinking, there's a real high quality squad developing here. And but it's all about Saturday for us now, and it's all narrowing that down to delivering the 23 that we've selected.
When we spoke to Graham Roundtree yesterday, he talked about how you pulled that performance apart, and it had taken a week, but he finally felt the players had actually understood what had gone wrong. Are you confident if that scenario arrives again, maybe not in the next 2 games, but 6 months down the line, this time your players will know what to do? Yeah,
I think it was small margins and big consequences that game, and that's unfortunately was the decisive factor in the game. So whilst we dissected it as we do every game, there were ultimately a lot of things that we did right as well, and certainly in the last 20 minutes as we gathered momentum. But there were definitely lessons to be learnt, and I think the players have appreciated that. They've taken on board. They're a very honest group, and it isn't about September. It's about Saturday, because I know that Scotland are going to come with a very difficult game plan that will be hard to break down. A very good defensive team, much improved under Vern Cotter. So I won't be looking at September. I'll be looking at Saturday.
I know that you're probably going to say you'll focus just on your game, but you can't help but somehow be influenced by the Wales-Ireland game. And I think Jose Mourinho spoke before the Capital One final, and he just wouldn't let his players know what happened to Man City earlier in the day. Because he said, whatever I do and however I say to them, focus on this game, mentally they will be detracted. So what will you do?
Turn all the TVs off in the change room, because it's true. It's something you can't control as a player. Their game will be playing out around about 4:30 as we're about to go out and warm up in front of 82,000 people and play against Scotland. So you don't want the heads full of a game that's going on in an environment that you can't control. So that'll be and that'd be the same for me, if I'm being honest. Because I can't control. I'm concentrating on my team.
And just finally for me, we've seen huge disappointment this week, because England have obviously gone out in the group stages of the Cricket World Cup. How much has that brought home the kind of expectation that's going to be on you in a few months' time?
Yeah, no, it did. It was when you look at other national teams, particularly obviously your own country, and you see the pressure and the expectation on them, and obviously the disappointment that people feel, not just the players but the coaches and the country feels when we don't achieve success. It's I appreciate, and I've always recognised the challenge that's coming our way in September. But if I come back to the point I just made about some of the players that are sat in the dressing room who aren't available for this game, who will be available come that time, and looking at the quality of players we'll have to pick from, I'm confident we'll be ready by then. But as I said, it won't be about September on Saturday, it's about Saturday.
Stuart, it's a couple of weeks ago now, but we all appreciate how hurt the squad was as a result of what happened in Dublin. How much of that do you feel is motivation for them going into this weekend? Do you feel from the players that they want to deliver that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you can describe it as backlash or whatever you want, but ultimately, I can tell by the intensity of the training today. We had 30 players training today, 15v15, and I had to sort of calm it down, to be honest, because you've not just got the 15 players who've been positioned to start, you've got the 15 players who want to be in the starting 15, and obviously the intensity that goes with that. So I could tell from today, and like I say, it was me blowing the whistle at the end just to make sure we didn't play the game too early.
And what about we've already mentioned the likes of Laws, Parling and Wood. I mean, these are players that for the last 3 years have been right at the heart of everything you've been doing, haven't they? Do you feel a lot more comfortable knowing that they are guys you can trust? Yeah,
I mean, it's not that I don't trust George Crewe or Tom Croft or Nick Easter, but I just felt for this game, bringing those guys back in would give us a bit of a lift, and that's the way it feels. They all are respected leaders. Obviously, it's slightly different for Jeff and Tom when they're on the bench to influence in the same way that they would if they were starting, but they've still got a voice. And Jeff was one of the last people to speak in the team huddle today, and that leadership that has grown, as you say, over the last 3 years is important. And it's a shame that someone like Brad Barrett's had to miss out, because he brings the same sort of package within the back line. And but that said, I've been impressed this week with JJ and Anthony and Jack and these guys really being vocal in training, and that's what we're going to need on Saturday, because Scotland will come at us with everything, and we need to be ready.
A lot of the build-up to the Irish game obviously focused on the aerial threat, their kicking game. For you, where are the key threats coming from Scotland?
I think Scotland will probably look at that game and probably look to challenge us in the same areas. Clearly, Finn Russell and Stuart Hogg are the key strike runners. They're very good at the breakdown, and a big, hard, aggressive pack that they'll need breaking down in the set piece. So across the board, you can see the way they've shifted their attacking emphasis. They've still got the same defence coach, but they're far more defensively secure. And of the 3 games they've played recently and the New Zealand game, it's been a 1-score margin. So this isn't a team that's struggling, in my opinion, at all. I think they'll be a real handful on Saturday.
Stuart, you mentioned Sam Burgess. How much difference have you seen in him bringing to the squad in terms of sort of professionalism, or maybe just a different take on the sport?
Yeah, it's not professionalism, because obviously both players from both codes are a long-time professional now. It's the first time I've coached him, if I'm being honest, because obviously he played the Saxons game, which I was an observer but not coaching, and he came in after that camp just to get a bit of experience, but he was injured, so he didn't train. So he actually only trained yesterday afternoon and today. But I've been impressed by his ability to pick things up very quickly. Clearly there's a new calling system and players to work with, but he's a very good man about him. He's definitely got a physical presence and a presence in the back line. And we talked yesterday in the backs meeting, and he was one of the first contributors to talk about what it takes to win and attitude. And I think that winner's attitude is something that you need in your team. And whether he can learn the game in enough time to challenge for that World Cup, we'll have to wait and see. But he's certainly got that winner's attitude, and that's an important quality in all teams.
Stuart, the side learned some tough lessons in Dublin. Scotland are going to come in having lost 3 games pretty narrowly. Where do you think the expectation should be going into this game for the England fans?
I think the expectation for us is internal, really. Obviously, from a fan's point of view, we want to put on the best performance possible. The fans come to Twickenham and expect us to play and defend with passion and do the set piece and all the basics of the game well. From my personal point of view, it's about our individual performances and stepping up a level and making sure that we give everything for the shirt for the full 80 minutes, and that's what any England fan should expect from the team, and I'm sure we'll deliver that.
Okay, thank you.